Right, so it's Wednesday and you're live on Pan-African television. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. So I'm sure you have been watching us from 6 a.m. and therefore you are apprised with what the newspapers have presented us with this morning. And we're going to be looking at a few of them here on the morning show. Wednesdays, you know, we're supposed to have the three musketeers, but it does appear that two of them are here. We're still trying to get through to Dr. Rashid Pelpo. As and when we get him, I'm sure he will join us for us to have. But it's very surprising because he's always here on time. So I don't know if he's going to be able to make it today. But regardless, I have my two brains here, and we're going to try to discuss the issues and make sure that we try as much as possible to, well, if there has to be some finality or closure to some of the issues, I'm sure my people are going to do justice to that. Sorry. But you, you at home can join in the discussions by sending us your views and comments to our WhatsApp number 0260846539, 0260846539. Let me say a special good morning going out to all our viewers across the length and breadth of this country, and specifically to certain people that have told me that they are always watching. And I was very surprised when I went to Cape Coast University and I saw that we have some professors and some doctors watching our morning show. That really made me very happy, and I was very, very excited about it. It thrown me into a state of ecstasy. And thank you very much, Dr. Koda. Thank you very much, Professor Yanka, for always watching, Professor Brichum, for always watching the morning show. We're grateful to you. And also, I'm told that we have some judges, some retired judges and lawyers who always watch the morning show. So good morning to all of you wonderful people who watch our morning show. I'm grateful that you always watch us. And also to the nurses at Snit Hospital in Osu. Yes, I know you also watch the morning show. We're grateful to you and thank you very much. There's also a security guy in Cape Coast University, the language department. You always watch the morning show. Thank you very much for always watching and keep supporting us. Now, this morning we're going to be obviously looking at the passage of the RTI bill. I'm sure if you have been following events, especially on Pan-African television, yesterday when Justice Appiah was reading the news, he brought into sharp focus the passage of the RTI bill and what has stalled the process. Indeed, I was privileged to have been invited, not invited, like interviewed on the midday news, and I shared my thoughts as to why the delay and why I think the delay was needless. And but the good news is that it has been passed. We are now going to look at that particular passage and try to identify whether or not it will yield the result for which reason we were fighting for this bill to be passed into law. Many are those who have questioned some of the clauses and sections and articles in that particular bill which has now been passed into law. And I think that initially I didn't understand the angle from which Mr. Edgar Redu was addressing the issue, but this morning on my way to the office, I sought to read a little bit about the bill and how to deal with people who have offended the law and how to even get information from these institutions. One of the state institutions that came to mind, or if you wish, the security sector, it does appear that there are some information that you cannot get, whether you like it or not, whether it is damning, it's so damning. And they always cite reasons as one being for the purpose of security, they are not going to be able to release such information. So the question that we are posing this morning is that, is the passage of the RTI bill going to yield the needed result that we are looking for? And I'm sure that you have a lot of answers that you want to share with us this morning. You can simply send them through 0260846539. Also, we're going to be looking at a story that has been captured by one of the newspapers. I don't know which one. I think I need to find out. But it's saying that we were paid to destroy an ass. And I'm sure that if you are an avid social media person, you would have come across a certain footage that is circulating the space, and it's attributable to a certain gentleman who is indicating in that footage that he was specifically paid because he controls, and he made mention of the fact that he controls radio, and then Honorable Kenneth Japon also controls TV. So they, joining their forces, will be able to, as it were, do the bidding of government. We're going to be looking at that particular issue. Really dominant tape. I wish we could play it. I don't know if my producers have it locked in, but if we get it, we'll play it for the viewers to also appreciate what we are talking about. Now, we were paid to destroy Anas. And also on the back of this Anas story, I'm sure you've also seen and read a release from Armeyao Anas questioning why we have not been able to deal with this GFA bosses saga. I'm sure you are aware that the number 12 exposed certain people in high office who were found to have been involved in a certain corrupt activity or practices. That obviously brought the name of Ghana into great disrepute. People are asking the question, including Anas, that why is it that we have not been able to, as it were, prosecute the GFA boss, even though it is very glaring that, according to Anas, it's very glaring that he was involved in that corrupt activity. Now, Anas also opined that it is as a result of his expose that is why FIFA, the governing body of the football association, dealt with the GFA was banning him from all football-related activities and also asking him to pay a certain fine. So why is it that we have not been able to, as a nation, use the same information that was used by FIFA to prosecute Mr. Kwesi Nyantechi? We're going to be looking at that particular issue as well. Now, Bali people are also very, very upset. They are upset because they feel that some projects that were embarked upon by the erstwhile Mahama administration have been abandoned. And I'm sure that there are several other people who are also very upset about the fact that some other institutions and companies and hospitals that were built by the previous administration have been left to rot. And I'm sure that you recall that we had several conversations about hospitals that were neglected and that were left at the mercy of fog and the sunshine and the rains and wearing and tearing and all of that. We're going to be looking at that particular issue, and I'm very excited that we have these gentlemen here because they can appreciate the issue from different perspectives. So we're going to be dealing with that particular issue. Also, 4,000 Pualugu residents suffering, and because they don't have water to drink. And yesterday, if you recall, on Constituency Connect, I think that my colleague Sadia Seidu sought to highlight some of the issues regarding lack of water for some of the communities in the northern part of Ghana. And the DC who was interviewed vehemently opposed and questioned our credibility by extension, and was clearly indicating that, well, the story that we put out was not a credible one. We also questioned and challenged him that if he thinks that what we have put out is not credible, then he should provide us with what he describes as credible. So it is a matter of great concern, and I'm sure the inside is no less a paper to cover such important issues here in Ghana. Now, I have been joined in the studios by my big brothers and big uncles and the persons of Mr. Edgar Redu, who is an insurance expert, but in-house, we have decided to call him our MP at large. Good morning to you, sir, and thank you very much for your time. Fantastic. Now, we also have been joined by Dr. Val Mensah, who is a financial analyst and also governance expert. This morning, he's going to help us address some of the very fundamental issues of development in Ghana. Good morning to you, sir, and thank you very much for your time. By the way, I love what you are wearing.
Thank you.
And I also watched you on Hot News, I think 2 nights ago. I don't know whether I was on Friday but I watched
with
you
the MP.
With the MP, Honorable Abdul Aziz.
Yeah.
You were very fantastic, even though there was some disagreement. But you were very fantastic on the show, and I loved the paneling. It was very, very nice. Yes. Now, so let's kickstart the conversation with the first story, which I'm very pretty sure that Edgar is not going to waste his time on it. Perhaps he's going to look at the implementation process, because now we have moved beyond the periphery of the bill. Edgar, let me start with you on this particular one. By the way, how did you spend your weekend? You didn't wish me happy birthday. My birthday was on Saturday.
Interestingly,
yes, sir.
I'm not an occasion man.
Okay.
I've never celebrated my birthday before.
Yes.
I've never celebrated Christmas, Easter, nothing. I don't celebrate occasions. If I wake up in the morning and my spirit is good, I enjoy my day. That is me. So I don't wait for a day to be happy. Yeah. So if I wake up this morning and I wake up at the right side of the bed, I feel so good. I think I need to give myself a good lunch.
Especially when you receive a very nice call from Jamila.
Exactly. if I have to give
she wakes you up.
a good dinner,
Yeah.
I give myself a good dinner.
Right.
If I think I need to spoil myself, I can have some good,
You
time.
go to Malaysia.
So I have to do my own little thing somewhere. You understand? I don't need to wait for a day, my birthday. So what?
But I celebrate, so you have to wish me still.
Well,
Nonetheless,
unfortunately, that's what I have never done it before. And don't expect it from me.
No, I'm expecting it
I
from
won't
you.
even do it. Because it doesn't mean anything to me. The people, the Christians say that this is the day the Lord has made, and we should be glad
And rejoice in it.
So every day is very important in one life,
Preach
not
on.
necessarily a birthday.
We'll have to open a church
special day.
so you can also buy the Bentleys.
Of course. Of course.
Anyway,
Yes.
in relation to your topic, right?
Yes, sir.
I have always maintained the position that the right to information is the right to your freedoms. Is something that is guaranteed in the Constitution. All right. Unfortunately, we had to go on this tangent before we could get something passed. And I believe this law, when it was first enacted or when it was first put into paper, that was about 20 years ago.
22 precisely.
No, it was first sent to party in 1999.
Yeah.
1999.
Yeah.
That's right, 20 years ago. And we've been there, and some tried to do something, some didn't do anything. It's gone and come, and today it has become law. Or it's been passed. It is not yet law.
The president has to
assent to it for it to become law. Now, for me, it is neither here nor there. As I have said, the bill has not captured my concerns. My concerns are, you are looking for information, they say we can't find the file. What do we do? So far as that aspect has not been addressed, all the plenty English language and grammar and everything, for me, is neither here nor there. Because I need information. And I said 2 issues came up last year. One issue is this. Martin Amidu was looking for information. And somewhere along the line, they said they can't find the file. Manasseh had gone through Attorney General's office, had gone through Ministry of Local Government, back and forth, tossing him up and down. Finally, they said they can't find the file. So if we want every information and then they can't find the file, and the law has failed to deal with that aspect, then of what relevance is the law? I don't see the use of it. So for me, not until that has been addressed, I don't see the noise about it. It's hogwash.
But beyond that, do you think that the 750 million Ghana cedis that apparently is and was and is required for the smooth takeoff of this policy or this law is one that sits well with you, if we want to have a proper implementation? When you first heard that we needed 750 million, what was running through your mind?
There's one thing that is very important that we avert our minds to. And what is this is that before any public spending can be made, it must be put before Parliament. Parliament, as the representatives of the people, have that duty to scrutinize it and convince themselves that, look, all the things that you have put there really merits or does not merit it. 750 million is no small chicken feed. It's big money. It's big money. When you put all the banks together, I doubt even if they can make that kind of money. Yes. They can't make that. It's big money. So if the 275 human beings sitting there in Parliament have okayed it. When we talk, what can we do? Because you see, for me, one of the things that I keep saying is that so far as technology is there, so many things are cut to sizes.
Yeah.
And technology would make things so cheap. You understand? So if those 275 human beings are there and they say, okay, why should I waste the little energy that I have to survive to come and then make noise? What would it change? It wouldn't change anything. There again, the financial discipline, this thing that they talked about, okay, that law that makes the finance minister cannot spend more than 5% of the total revenue, the budget. Ask a simple question. If he decides to spend more than 10%, what happens? You can't do him anything. So what is the use of such laws? I mean, so you see, that is the problem that I keep saying, that this is our country. we just go and do things, and then the law says that the man cannot spend more than 5% of the total budget revenue. So, and the thing is this, even if he decides not to even come to Parliament, I remember one time Adongo was making so much noise, okay, about he not bringing some information to Parliament and twisted some facts and all that sort of thing. What did the law say? You can't do him anything. So why the noise? So if we are passing laws and we are not putting right sanctions in place, that will be a deterrent to the one who is administering the thing. Of what value is it? A minister is called to Parliament to come and answer questions. He comes and answers the question. Oh, yes, we have put in place XYZ. We'll make sure this thing is done, blah, blah, blah. Yes, what have you done about this? We have put in place, we'll make sure XYZ is done, blah, blah, blah. We put in place, make sure XYZ is done, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the year, nothing is done. And what do? It's a complete waste of time.
I agree with you, because largely because I don't know. Yesterday I was flipping channels, and then I chanced on an institution that was seated before the Auditor General to respond to some queries. Now, apparently they had spent over $5,000 on a certain media personnel to follow them for a certain event, I think in a state or so. And they were asking for the receipt. They said, oh, unfortunately, the media person didn't give us any receipt. And we are finding it very difficult to trace that media person and get a receipt. So, and obviously, the only thing that they now asked was, oh, but do you have the footage? So there's a difference between having the footage and having a receipt. Now, if the question then is that, was the money expended for the purpose for which was expended? If, for instance, $5,000 was budgeted, how much of it was used for the project? Because now they are telling you that they can't find a receipt. So you can't even see whether it was the itemization of it. So which is why I'm saying that I largely, because the man says I can't find it. I can't.
You can't find what
you understand? So the only thing is that, okay, was the job done? It was done. So what's your problem? So if we are going to be going back and forth with these issues, then
what's the point?
And especially also the security agencies. There are some information that you can't get from them.
What information is it that you can't get? You see,
sensitive one. That's the point I'm making.
That you see, this we need to demystify. That is why all this nonsense of national security and the mess they are messing up. What is this whole thing about security?
And it borders of national
That
security.
is what I'm saying. That when you say it borders of national security, what is it? The information about your security is all outside. The outside world knows everything about you, Ghana, your security. There are so many things that is known outside. Look, I'll just tell you something here. There's this whole business of, it happened not too long ago. This whole business, let me digress and give you an example.
No, go ahead.
This whole business of rice importation. That we say we need to, this dollar matter, talk about Ghana food and blah, blah, blah. People want to do things. Years ago, a rice mill was established in Bontanga, somewhere in the upper Upper East region there, a rice mill. Today, Ministry of Agric, Irrigation Department, name all the agric institutions. They don't have a single document on that. Somebody made contact with Japan, and Japan has brought the document to Ghana.
So okay, you see why I said we should. When I put this to you, we look at it from different angles.
Let me tell you something here. Where you buy your guns from? Who manufactured the guns? You think the people where you are buying the guns from? They know. Yeah. So what is the secret? Whatever ammunition, in the first place, you don't produce them. Where you are procuring it, yesterday, how do you call it? 3 or 4 days ago, some helicopters were given to the police. Is it secret? The people who brought the helicopters, their documents and everything is there, right? 1981. This guy, that's what even what's the name? Khashoggi, right? A serious arms dealer. He went in for some $80 million to do how do you call it? Guns for people. Some came to Ghana. So, I mean, this thing about security, people making look like it is some shrouded in secrecy. Fine. You can think it's shrouded in secrecy. You may think it is, but the information is already out somewhere.
Now, in your submission, I'll come to you shortly, Doc. In your submission, Mr. Redu, you made and highlighted a very key point, which I'm sure the viewers and myself are aware of. Now, you spoke about not so manifestly, but you spoke about record keeping. And for me, that's very important. And I'm bringing this in because you said record keeping of the mill was not there. So what it means is that as a nation, we have not averted our minds to some of these things. And so it will be even very problematic going into an institution and soliciting for a certain information because the records are not even there.
See,
we lack it.
Let me tell something here. In the CIA, after some years, they release their files. Okay?
That's why we chanced on what happened to Panelist and all of that. Yeah.
In some years, they release the information. And if they, CIA, after some years, they'll release all that has happened, the information out now. What secret are you gonna keep? In any way, I mean,
you just qualified it after some years.
No, what I'm even
some
saying
years,
is that, no,
so they don't release as the events.
The point I'm even trying to make is this: that whatever you do, right? Whatever you do, as I said, even with the CIA, after some years they release the information.
Yeah.
So if you say you are even hiding that information, in the first place, you are not there. You are not the originator. That's the point I mean. You are not the originator. The information is coming from some place. Now let me give you something that is happening live for everybody to see, and then juxtapose that with this sound security thing. But not for the media or 1 or 2 people who filmed what happened at Ayawaso. Who would have known what happened at Ayawaso? When information came out, they said 1 person assaulted Sam George, but rather 2 people assaulted him. So the 1 person that they say assaulted, they say you should start. What about the 2nd person who assaulted him? But not for video. Nobody would have seen what happened at the Midland Bank.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody would have seen what has happened at Midland Bank. But not for video. Nobody would have seen that policeman that was beaten at the Malam or Kaswa or whatever it is like. The video, but not for the same Anas video and things. Who would have seen? So you have said the technology of today, the thing that you think you want to hide, from where the thing is even coming from, information is already out there. You see, so that you need to demystify it. That we try to make security like as if it is some goddess or some deity, something that you have to calculate before. No, it's nothing.
But we need to differentiate.
Let me come to Doc and hear your take on this whole RTI passage, and also from the angles Edgar looked at the issues from.
Okay, thank you, Kwame, and good morning to your viewers. This passage, I think we need to celebrate. even though we did not achieve all we wanted to achieve. But it's a big step in the right direction. For media, for researchers, and anybody who needs information for his or her work. Even if we cannot guarantee that all the information will be available, we can improve the situation as we go along. There could be amendments if we realize that there are a lot of bottlenecks in the way of provision of information. The law can be amended for Edgar's concern. So I don't think that should detract so much from the law. The law should be welcomed and celebrated.
Okay.
And
before you proceed, you
yes.
just made mention that despite that it has problems.
Yes.
What are the problems that you have identified?
No, the problem is what Edgar said. Even though last week, Honorable said that the information doesn't have to be in a document. It can be electronic document, or it doesn't have to be a hard document. And the information can be in many forms. So the person saying that the information, that the person that doesn't have access to the information, or the information cannot be found. And I think last time I contributed that with and you've also even mentioned it when I wanted to comment on it, but I didn't have the opportunity. That our record keeping.
It's terrible.
You see, a country after 62 years of independence, you go and purchase something and the person asks you, do you need a receipt? It's not good. It doesn't reflect well on our society.
It's because of corruption.
Yes, because we, with our laws and our practice, we should have ensured that in the UK or any other country, even some African countries, the receipts are just produced.
Thailand. If
Yes.
you buy tomatoes.
Yes.
Tomatoes.
Receipts are produced. If you go to a market, if you go to an open market, that one it can be excused. But you go to a lot of shops, VAT invoices and other invoices are not given. You buy and you have to plead for an invoice. And we sit there, we want to enjoy all the benefits of a developed country, but we don't want to do the work. And this is why I'm happy that this right to information bill has been passed. We need to hold our leaders to task. The accountability, this is the beginning of the accountability in the country. See, we need to, somebody called me yesterday, the person asked that there were promises that we're going to shortlist contractors, bad contractors. And he's gone everywhere for that information. No contractor has been shortlisted. Even though Minister of Road and Transport promised 2 years ago, Minister of Works and Housing, and the Minister of Procurement, nothing has been done. And as I was saying on Monday, we require a paradigm shift in the management of public accounts in this country. You see, I remember back, our economic history and whatever, we were saying that the Fantis were saying that are buying your Trinidad. But we've moved away from the colonial times. Every property of the nation is our legacy. We need to protect. And also, when we collect the money from the taxpayer, we need to account for every pesewa. So, if the government is not taking the expenditure seriously, we always have problems. And these problems, some of the problems is what we are seeing with the exchange rate. If your expenditure is not well managed, you have your deficits. And your deficit would have to be financed by external loans. And then it will lead to your currency depreciation. So somebody has to wake up and say that, no, this government expenditure pattern has to stop. Every expenditure should be transparent and well accounted for. And if we run the country as we run our businesses, we will move far. But that is not what is happening. Government expenditure or government money is no person's business. So they handle it anyhow.
People are of the opinion that with the way and manner how the bill was put together, and the fact that there are so many lapses, we may end up having a lot of court cases for interpretation. One of the reasons why my friend said this was because he looked at one of the clauses, I think clause 13 or so, which has a requirement that before you get an information, you must demonstrate what you are going to use the information for. And it is well within the right of whoever is going to give you the information to determine whether or not what you are saying fits into the definition that they have with respect to what you are going to use the document for. So it comes back to them again.
I don't see that as a problem.
No, but I mean, for instance, if you came to my office and you wanted an information and you said, okay, I'm a media person, I want to, and I think that, you being a media person and you wanting to, for instance, go and put this information out, is not one that I believe, in my estimation, that should not be done. I can decide not to give you the information.
No, and you can contest. So, for example, if you want to do some work, you just say that I'm carrying out this work on the, blah blah, and then the person doesn't have to ask you for the detail. You just have to, like we do with research. We will say that you are carrying out research on, say, national culture, and I need this information to help with my work. The person should be able to give you that information. Yes, should be able
but it's
to.
not obligated.
If he refuses, then you have the law. You recourse to the court.
Yeah, I'll come back to you, Doc. Let me quickly.
Yes.
That is why I say that all these things for me is neither here nor there. Because one, someone has refused to give you the information. Okay? You say you are going to court. You are going to court. 2-3 years you'll be in court. 2-3 years you'll be in court for some information that you need.
You'll be frustrated.
You'll be frustrated.
3 years.
No, but we all know the court
system will frustrate you.
I have said on this platform before that I don't believe in that saying that the wheels of justice grind slowly or what. I said I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Right? The court system is not helping the nation.
Justice delayed is justice denied.
Of course. Why can't a court sit down and say, look, for this case, I'll use 2 weeks to solve it? Why can't the court say that? Say, I'll deal with it on day to day. Okay? Now, you go to court. By the time you file your papers and things, counter attorney general will come and
14 days to respond. Then
before somebody comes and says, okay, we are going on notice, we are going on this. But before you realize, 4 months.
Preliminary hearing and all those things.
Adjournment. Attorney General could not join us today because he's got another case in court. Adjourn to the next 3 weeks.
You see, we are talking about the extremes.
It's not the extreme.
I've gone to court. I've gone to court several times. And these things did not happen to me.
Okay. So let me tell you.
Let's talk about the average, not the extreme.
Doc. You see, one of the things that I feel
you know that somebody has been in court for over 14 years.
Yeah.
No. You see, if you say the duration of the process, depending on how the cases are handled, they can go on forever.
Are you saying
and
that
some of our lawyers may not be that ethical. they may do certain things to frustrate the process.
But you see, but Doc, what I think we are glossing over, and we're not really looking at it's a very important point that Edgar has.
No, that one is.
Now,
it's an extreme case.
How Rwanda, for instance, because I did my I'm a lawyer in Rwanda. How Rwanda sought to deal with this issue is that, for instance, they look at the cases.
Yes.
And say that, okay, this one will be good for arbitration. This one will be good for mediation. This one will be, so they give all those other
no, but in India they do the same.
Yes,
they give you the alternative.
But you made a very important point, which is what I'm coming to.
Yeah.
That they do that because of timelines. Because they said that for this particular case, you have to use 2 weeks, and it's only arbitration that can use 2 weeks. So you go to arbitration.
Yeah.
After that particular case, so. But in Ghana, it does appear that we have literally boxed most of the cases together.
No, you see,
and so it makes it difficult for.
You see, there's always that first option of ADR.
Yes, obviously, yes.
There's the first option of ADR.
Yes.
But then the ADR self, it is not time,
Of course.
It is
but it's presumably the most fastest way of dealing with resolving issues.
Yes, and then before it's okay, let's go to the normal court, let's do this, let's do that. And I'm asking the question that we all know how our court system is. By the time you file your paper and somebody isn't supposed to respond, that number of days,
14 days.
That 14 days, that is the person.
Do you know what they do nowadays? The lawyers, they wouldn't respond, and even if they respond, they would not.
They will leave some things out and come to court.
They will not even come to court. And then just when the complainant is about to apply for judgment, they'll come and show up.
Of course.
And the law allows that.
That is what I'm saying. The law allows it. So that is where
these
you
things
will get
have to be
frustrated
tightened
that
down.
at the end of the day, maybe the thing is time bound. The period for which you needed that information for, right? By the time let me give you a typical case. In 1996, there was this case at Ayawaso West Wugon here. Isaac Amo and then Rebecca Adote, the parliamentary seat, right? When Isaac Amo went to court to challenge the Rebecca Adote's, winning of the Ayawaso West schools, the day they pronounced judgment for Isaac Amo, that parliament was over. The case took 4 years. The day they pronounced judgment for that man, Parliament was over. A new election was coming in. So then you ask yourself the question, so you understand? With all these things that, these are people there, they know what they are doing.
You see, why don't we try to eliminate the human intervention in most of the things that we do? Because you see, and I really wonder because technology.
Number two, you even need an LI.
Yes.
You need an LI to operate the law.
Yeah.
When is the LI coming?
Well, are you talking about the RTI?
Yes, that's it.
But that would be dealt with.
Because you see, the point is that even paying my school fees, I think that there was a balance that I needed to go and pay later. The guy said, so I said, please take it, and then the guy said, why do you want me to be sacked? Go, and then where the bank was, go to the bank, go and pay or reflect. Yes,
of course.
The one said, they don't touch money.
No, but you
can't touch money.
I can tell you a case.
You cannot.
I can. Yes, I was traveling from Congo because I had to catch a flight in Kigali.
Yeah.
So I hired a taxi from the Congo border.
Hey, you get money.
No.
The man get money.
So from the Congo border to Kigali.
Yeah.
And the driver oversped.
He's dead.
And you see,
he's dead.
The way they control they control the traffic. No, the police officer was there and stopped us.
Yes.
And then he said, you were driving at 60 kilometers per hour. So I thought, no, I was going to miss the flight. So I was in the car panicking. So about 10 minutes they had finished.
Yeah, that's all.
But he had given me a ticket.
Yes.
Then said, go and pay in Kigali.
Yes.
When you come back, you give me the receipt and take your license.
That's all.
I said, why can't we do this in this country?
Even now they have advanced. When was this? Now they have advanced. Now they have a mobile money number. Now they have a central mobile money number for the government. You pay to that number.
And why can't we do this? Spot fine.
No.
Why, Edgar, you have to explain.
No, that's
why is it taking us so long?
It is our laws, but I think the implementation is where they're having problems. You see, because you see, our whole system is not electronically charged. You understand?
Terrible.
So it's in the current the act is in the spot fines are there, but the implementation. That's what I'm saying, that they are having difficulties in how to implement, because listen. First of all, some of these things, how there are some places, I don't know whether they still do it, but I remember that like sometime in Cape Coast, when you are going to Cape Coast, some corner be there, then you see some policemen go and hide somewhere.
Oh
yeah.
Always hiding.
They'll go and hide somewhere. Then when you are coming north, then they say, hey, master, you are riding 120. And then, all kinds of challenges and what have you. The system is not...
No, but that shouldn't
be a challenge.
Wait, no.
That shouldn't be a challenge.
No, it's a challenge. The system is not really electronized to that level. One of the funny things, in Rwanda and all those places you are talking about, the electronic system is working that the moment the camera captures you here, it is recorded.
It's recorded.
Wait. It's recorded at the center.
At the center. So you, the policeman, you have no choice.
You cannot challenge. You see, you cannot. Here, somebody is holding a speed gun which is faulty. Probably it's on 140.
Already.
It's on 140 already. When you get there, then you show it to you. You are driving 140. Somebody will challenge you. So the law is there, but the police themselves admit that.
No, but we shouldn't create these excuses.
Yes.
Maybe that is why. Maybe that is why we are getting to.
Let me tell you about the Rwandan case. This one, the officer just stopped us, and he told us that.
What are you talking about? In Ghana, who give you a receipt?
No, but then that is why
that is what we are telling you.
Accommodate that.
We are saying that we are not endorsing it. We are telling you that the system has not been fixed to that level.
But I think that what Doc is saying is not radically different from yours. All he is saying that yes, we admit that there's a problem, but we have to fix it.
And that is the point I'm making.
Yeah.
You are driving V8 everywhere.
We are not saying that it is well.
Electronic problem.
Our system has not.
It's not technologically charged. Which brings me to my final point before we wrap up on this issue. And I think that the next ones will just because this is very important.
Yes.
Now, Edgar, I'm coming to you again because before I come to Doc, there's a gentleman that I had a conversation with yesterday on Instagram. I actually posted a picture about me when I was in Rwanda and all of that. And then he commented, so I've been waiting to meet you in Rwanda. I'm like, I'm in Ghana. I'll come to Rwanda in July. Then we had a very, a side conversation, in my inbox. And he said, Kwame, do you know I bid for the zipline contract? I'm a Ghanaian. He lives in Rwanda, by the way. Yeah. And he's providing about 70% of Rwanda's IT solutions. He's Ghanaian. He said, Kwame, I was in Ghana. I started my company in Ghana. When I came to Ghana, I was frustrated. Somebody wants some cut somewhere. Somebody will go and sit on somewhere. They want you to give them something. When I came to Rwanda, it's very sharp. He's providing solar system solution. He's providing drones that are used for agriculture. So the drones spray. You understand? Yes. And we are not using all these people. So we have people who have the technological know-how and advancement to be able to support what we are doing here. But because of some no-confio that we will get, these people are rather living in other countries and providing solutions for them.
If you go to Rwanda Development Association or agency, it's full of Ghanaians.
Yeah, the RDB, Rwanda Development Board.
Yes, full of Ghanaians.
You see, so Edgar, why?
You see, the problem is this.
Why? The guy is operating in Tanzania. He's operating in Congo. He's operating in Rwanda, not Ghana. And he gave me reason. I'll show you when we finish the morning. So I'll show you the conversation.
The problem in Ghana is, listen, maybe Val will be able to deal with this matter because he has been on the political corruption and all that, right? The issue is more of leadership. And I've always said that when it comes to leadership, one of the things you ask me is, why would the president, what are the indicators? What is it that the president is looking for? Right?
So the goal.
What is he looking for? What is he seeing in Mr. X for which he says Mr. X should go and head this place? For instance, I have said that somebody like for Professor Frimpong Boateng, it was a complete waste making him a minister for environment, science and technology. Right? It's a complete waste. This is somebody who has brains so far as cardio business is concerned. So what the president should have done was task Frimpong Boateng, Look, put everything together and set up a big-time cardiothoracic center in Accra and let it be a hospital facility for tourism. Okay? So that, because even the small one here, you have people coming from neighboring countries to be there. So if you have that whole thing, and the man has the idea, he has it, putting him at that ministry there, he's a complete waste. You understand? So identifying the right people to do the job. What would make you get up and then appoint some human beings to sit in certain offices? Look, today, one of the things that hurts me so much, like I said, that somebody decided to give us $164 million to construct N1, right? Ministry of Roads and whatever, Ghana Highway Authority, urban roads. Nobody finds it necessary that that road must be monitored.
Highway patrols.
Yes, nobody finds it. So it tells you that there's a leadership problem. The one who is sitting there hasn't got what it takes to sit down. Now, in ordinary administration, there's something called monitoring. And it should be
evaluation.
It should be part of everybody. You understand? It should be part of everybody.
But they have a ministry for monitoring evaluation.
No, he is monitoring ministries. That is not his job. What we are saying is that roads and highways, you need to monitor the roads. So why should they put street lights there? And the next day, thieves have come to take all the street lights. Who was monitoring it? It's the leadership problem. Why should cars run into the rails, mangled? And then the policeman who will go and take the car and send it to the police station will take the money from the driver that he is going to repair the mangled rails, and he puts the money in his pocket. Who is monitoring that? The next thing is this. At a point in time, they said that highway was so dangerous because people were crossing up and down, cars were hitting them left and right. So they decided to get some fence wires. Fence wires.
So people
have come to steal all those.
They've actually created some small.
So you're asking your question, who is monitoring? And I said, monitoring is part of management. It's very basic. So if you have leaders like that who don't know their job, this is what we call square pegs in round holes. And you definitely get it every time. So it is about the idea. What has the man got to offer? What has the president got? So I'm asking you, as the president, like that girl, Gifty Clelem, what made the president appoint that girl to go and sit in that office that she went to take 2 million CDs to go and put in investment and chop the money? These are the things you are asking. You see, so if you are not getting the right leader, all these things will happen.
Yes.
You get it.
But
let's get to
professor's case, citing professor. Okay, Edgar.
Yeah.
The professor, even before the appointment, he had even stood for presidency.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
So you see,
the primaries.
He had gone for that. Okay. So you see, maybe he, after a point of his career, had decided that he wants to go into politics. You cannot fault him on that. And now he's become a politician.
Okay,
he's become a politician
I think the argument is
based on Maslow's theory.
Granted that he's become a politician.
Yes.
But the point is that once the president has decided to make appointments,
yes,
and he knows what this man can do in respect of the cardio, whatever sector, why did he take him?
He should have been the Minister of Health.
Maybe that's what.
Not necessarily.
Giving him a specific task.
This man, he built this.
Yes.
The little one
so
that
he
built it, and it served the nation in a way. And I'm saying that, look, medical tourism is also income generating. Let him do a bigger one. He said, I'm tasking you to do this. That is what I'm asking. Because the point is that he wanted to be a president. Now, if he wanted to be a president, maybe he had it that if he were a president, you probably would have done a bigger something, right? Because that is his field. All I'm saying is that the office he's sitting in now, he is completely underutilized, right? He's not serving any purpose there. And then he could have used that time to do something better for the country. Right. So the most important thing is this, and it cuts across all the places, right? Everything you are doing is about leadership. The leadership is, how do I identify the right people to sit in the various offices? That is the most important thing. You get it? Am I giving you the job because you contributed 1 million to the party?
Okay.
I gave you 1 million to the party.
Clientelism. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move clientelism. Doc would describe it as clientelism. Anyway, let's move on and look at. I'll skip the second one because it does appear that we were paid to destroy others. I'll skip that one. And then we will look at the balls over neglect of Mahama Projects. The inside has captured that. And I'm sure, Doc, I mean, you have been in Ghana for a while. I'm sure
not for a while.
In terms of you traveling across the African, countries. Yeah. I'm sure now you are stationed there.
Yes,
you've been stationed there for a while.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure when you remember that when the NPP took office, there were issues regarding how they have neglected some of the projects that were embarked upon by the previous administration. One that I can readily recollect has to do with the Legon, the University of Ghana medical facility, where a gentleman flashed a placard in front of the First Lady and he was arrested for flashing and demonstrating his displeasure about how we had neglected. Same applies to a hospital that is around this place.
There were some hospitals.
There are hospitals that were
scattered, a lot of them.
Yeah, and then the senior high schools that were abandoned because we claimed that they were built in bushes. So I mean, it is no brainer that people in Bole are frustrated that the projects that were built by the Mahama administration are not being fully used.
Okay. So that's my first contribution was based on the fact that we do not more or less attach so much importance to government's property or national property. If somebody has committed so much to start a project, why do you abandon the project for 4 years? I mean, that is a non-performing asset. And he borrowed to start the project. You are paying the interest. Whether you like the project or not, you are paying the interest, you are repaying the loan. So why abandon it? And that one is not only this government. Most governments have done this in the past.
I'll say this to you for a fact. Yesterday, the editor here at Pan-African Television, a person of Justice Appiah, went to the Ministry of Works and Housing, to want to find out from the minister why we have abandoned and how far, not abandoned, how far the housing projects have come. There's one that is behind Zenith University College that was built by Mahama. And now it's been abandoned. Nothing has been done about it. I'm sure you also recall one that was built, I think, around Pram or so by Kufo. Has been abandoned.
And even the Suhum
now the question is, why is it that we are not getting the right information from people who are supposed to give us the information to be able to understand and appreciate the challenges that government is facing regarding some of these projects? Justice went there. The minister failed to grant him that audience. I'm telling you. The minister rather directed him to go and speak to somebody else. And the question is, a sector minister who has been put there to oversee and superintend over the activities of your sector must respond to queries and questions that we have regarding that particular sector.
But was the person he directed to, was he his assistant or?
It's not even his assistant. The person is in charge of the housing project, something like that. But I mean, the minister is a sector minister, and you are put there, which is why we have ministers. Otherwise, why don't they put the technocrats there? Why do they have ministers there?
And I'm hoping that the right information will respond to this.
But the point is that the fundamental question really that I'm seeking to ask is that why is it that we have government, government currently, the government currently has not been able to demonstrate to Ghanaians their willingness and commitment to want to use the projects that were completed by the SY administration? What is the problem? Why?
You see, the problem with this country now is the competitive electoral democracy. Okay. Everybody, the two parties. See, sometimes they will say that they tie. They tie in the sense that if you are not careful, the power will swing to the other. So they have their electorates or their world banks that they are always looking after. So if the project is not in their world bank, they wouldn't be motivated to complete. And this is where we, the people, have to rise and change this situation, because it's costing you and me. It's costing you and me because we pay the taxes. And somebody will come and start a project. Look at it, like I told you, the Suhum flyover. How much does it cost? Yeah. And how much interest have we paid? And for about nearly 10 years, we haven't used it. And it's sitting there. By the time we start using it, there will be wear and tear that we have to spend. We have to spend to rectify. And 10 years depreciation or more, it's gone.
There's something that
from the weather.
Yeah, before I go to Edgar, there's something that Dr. Nimoy Thompson said on Good Evening Ghana yesterday when I was watching him. He made mention, and it is something that I have even said.
Yes.
That I think that ministers and people who are put in ministerial roles must be given targets.
Yeah, of course.
They must be given targets such that every month you come and give your report.
But that's what you didn't cite Rwanda. That's what they do.
Every year. The minister's number is even in the public domain. You can call them. If the minister fails to pick, there's a portal that you can send your queries to. That I called the minister A, B, C, D. They failed to pick my call.
That's why I was saying government's business is nobody's business. If we run the government business as someone's business, this accountability monitoring will be there, and that performance management will be an integrated part of the system.
The difference.
Okay, let me come to it.
You see, it comes to the point I was telling you. It's about leadership. We are all human beings, but someone somewhere has decided that this is how I want to operate.
Yeah.
So therefore, people are falling in line.
I'll say something very funny. Sorry, before you go on. So there's in the school that I attended, we had people from Uganda, Sierra Leone, everywhere. Then the Ugandan guys got upset. They said, we don't understand though. All the laws that are being implemented in Rwanda are our laws.
Yes.
But they are not implemented. They have come for our laws and they are implementing it in Rwanda.
And that's where the leadership comes from.
That's right. The leadership. The one with the vision, he knows what he's looking for, right? If he knows that this is what he's looking for, he will make sure it is done. I recall in the early days of the that is 93, 94, thereabouts, okay? The early days of constitutional rule. And then Rawlings wanted something done, right? So that time, Kwame Hoy and then a few others were there. So after their discussions and then Rawlings said, okay, so I need this thing done immediately, blah, 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 blah. Then Kwame Hoy said, oh, Mr. President, you know, now it's democracy, so we need to, how do you call it, prepare the documentations and send it to one. He said, that is what you want. As for me, I want it done.
Yeah.
So if I want my thing done. If you think
how you do is your problem.
Yes. I want it done. You see?
So you see, like businesses are run on objectives. And everything
there's a business
centered
objective.
on achievement of
that
objective.
There's a communication objective. So
achievement of that objective. So if I need
it's
objective,
a very interesting conversation.
So what you're looking at here is this: that if you are able, as I said, the most important thing is that identifying the right person. You get it? I'll tell you something that happens in the Germanys and in the US. When they are looking for people, experience takes about 50% of the mark. You see? Experience. Education takes just about 20% of whatever they are asking for. Then you have, what do you call it? Exposure. But in Ghana, look at the way our parliamentarians are so much interested in dissecting people's CVs.
I'm telling you.
Like the PhD that was not
and then PhD and then this degree and then that and this. Look at the way they are so much interested in dissecting the CVs of people. And you realize that as a result of their failure to squeeze out experience from the parliament and the nominees, that is where Ghana we find ourselves today. I always ask myself this question. That look, when Kufuor took office, we were spending $100 million in importing rice.
Right now it's skyrocketing.
Today it is 1.6 billion.
Yeah.
Right? 1.6 billion or 1.2 billion. Now you want to ask yourself the question, How many ministers of agri haven't we vetted for all this period? Yet they passed them. What did they come to do? What did they come to do? So the vetting process in Parliament for me is neither here
And
nor
just by
there.
way of information, do you know that we have actually dropped as a nation that people can invest in? I don't know if you've.
Oh,
This morning,
yes.
we've dropped.
No, yesterday.
Rwanda is flying.
You see, because that's what I said. It's
No, but everything they
the
take
right-
everything serious.
Getting the right people to do the job. So not until you identify this one go. Like, how can you sit down a country, 30 million people? You say 123 ministers. For 2 years now, what have they got to show? But I'll tell you one of the problems that we are dealing with when it comes to the issue about the neglecting of the projects.
Yeah.
You see, the hypocrisy in Ghanaians and then the sycophancy in us, these are the kind of things that will continuously happen. Because we don't really have a national agenda.
Oh,
Of course.
You see, we don't have a national agenda. I keep saying that somebody should tell Ghanaians that, look, by the year 2030, this is where we want Ghana to be. Nobody can tell us that, because there is no national agenda. But in UK, they know what is expected of that country by 2030. In France, they know.
And they've
In
broken it
Germany,
down.
They've broken it down. So it is like at
Year on
everywhere,
year.
they know what
Year on year.
whether it is consecutive or it is labor.
Rwanda has nearly achieved the 2020 vision.
of course.
Exactly.
And
that we started.
Yeah, but theirs, you see, primarily was on agriculture.
Fine.
Specifically,
So
Rwanda
you-
specifically said that we're going to work on our agriculture.
So they knew
South
what they were
African
about.
country, that's how you
Yeah,
should
I'll
start.
bring you there, Doc. You see.
You see, now let me tell you something. This vision you are talking about, it was in what do you call it? What do you call it? Was it 95? No, 98. It was in 98 that Rawlings came out with that document,
2020.
Vision 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Safumafo said, my friend, what do you mean?
No, it was not Safuma Fumpo. Rawlings wrote the Vision 2020 document. Then Kufuor comes and they say throw Vision 2020 away. In Kufuor's time, there were 3 visions: Vision 2015, 2010, 2012. Mills comes, throw everything away. John Mahama comes, Vision 40 years.
And along the line, we had the African peer review mechanism.
That was
objectives.
Kufuor's- that was-
yeah, that was the first time.
Yes,
yeah.
the first one.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
Then Mahama comes, 40-year development plan. Akufo-Addo comes, Safuma say throw that thing away. Ghanaians, are we human beings? Are we serious? So there is no plan.
And last time you were
So-
fighting me when I said we have never, since independence,
You
we've
see?
not implemented
So tomorrow,
any plan successfully.
They say
that's true.
volley balls. We have this. This thing you are talking about, I remember very well. What do you call it? This affordable housing that Kufuor was doing, right? When Kufuor left power, and then Ejata came, right? And people started complaining because the housing problem, people were complaining. Tony Edu said, na yenko no na yes so ye buy na ye den. I say ye You see, so you that is the kind of system that you have. There is no natural quarter. And Kufuor, I think, had the opportunity of doing that because in Kufuor's time there was this North Carolina conference.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That tried to put all these political heads together. And that was the time they should have been able to formulate those policies.
Yeah.
And then, gradually, whether it is this government or that government, you have to do it. You see?
Yeah.
Like in the Americas, they have their 50-year budgets and what have you. The only difference is that technology and things will change it. But then you go according to what it's supposed to be. So today, if this is what is happening, then we got a problem. But for me, I'm not even bothered about that thing. What I'm seriously concerned about is the 4,000 Pualugu residents suffering from water.
Water, yes. No,
That
that was going to be the last question.
That is the most
last topic,
important thing that you have to look at.
Yeah, that's the last topic. I just wanted to read a few messages and then we'll look at that
Now,
last.
one of the things that is very crucial, as I said, right, in the year 2007 or so, 2007, the World Bank came and told Ghanaians that, look, by the year 2025,
yeah,
we will have serious water problem.
crisis. Yeah.
Tell me, as we sit today, from 2007
What have we done?
Yeah.
To today, 2019, we have not done any single thing.
Mm-hmm.
We've not done any single thing, no.
What is the priority?
I'll come to you on this.
It is leadership. Because you see, if in America, at the point
but let's be fair. I think former President Mahama started some water projects.
What water project?
I think one in is it Dodowa or something? There's also one.
It is not water project. It's about storage. It is about how you survive when the water you are looking for is not coming.
So you are looking at the storage.
Of course, you are looking at it. Not the question of doing the because if you do the water project, the water has a source.
Yeah.
That source is what is going to cut.
So
when it cuts, like there's a famine, what do you do? In Joseph's time in Egypt, what did he do? There is going to be severe famine. So you start buffer, you stock. Now you are being told that you're going to have water problems. I saw some clips somewhere in the northern part of the country. Jesus Christ, my God. The water is brown like...
No, yesterday on Constituency Connect, I think on African television...
It's brown like mad.
Yeah.
And this is what people are drinking to survive. Yeah. And we sit in Accra here, and you see, this is why I keep saying that the president is getting it wrong.
But who said that people do not drink?
It's not that the president is getting it wrong, because you see, this is like you rightly said, this is survival, this is life. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Number one thing, water and food, shelter. So if you are depriving people of these basics, right, and then we can be using the money to be buying vehicles for ministers to
petrol, wasting them on fuel.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Why should a minister at the largesse of you and me? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Why should ministers be enjoying monies like that when ordinary people are suffering? They can't get good water to drink. The taxes they take from you and I, right?
Yes.
The taxes they take from you and I at the end of the month, take the money from my salary, then you say I'm going to give it to a minister as rent allowance. He should enjoy the money.
They have cooks.
What kind of rubbish is that?
They have cooks.
When
they have security,
people are suffering, but you know, we pray that these things don't happen. But it is clear when you've been told that is going to happen. Look, how do you call it? Just some 3-4 days, when some power problem came, and some areas did not get water for 3 days. See the way people were crying. See the way people were crying. They didn't get water for 3 days. See the way they were crying. Then you are going to sit down for years on end without water. Oh my goodness,
Doc, let's hear from you on this water issue, and then I'll read a few of the messages. I think today I like my topics.
Edgar has said it all. You see, we 62 years of independence, and we are 4,000 residents do not have access to safe drinking water. So what are we doing as a nation? Because, as he said, most of the expenditure in the cities could be even sidelined and used for this water. See, somebody driving 5-liter vehicle to the office. 5-liter vehicle to the office, and the state covering that expenditure.
Yes.
Can't we tell the ministers to use their own vehicle and fund their own fuel expenditure?
Because we pay them.
So that we can look at after this. When you go to the UK, I mean, we refer to the UK because
the Speaker of Parliament was boarding a train. I don't know if you saw that.
When it was being asked about the president.
Yes. You see,
the man they go take some bus with ordinary people.
Yeah. Because I think UK because that's not how they brought us up. At independence, our system, everything was okay. Now we want to manage our own affairs, and we are messing up. We are messing up big time. And last time, that's why I started from independence. We are messing up. We've messed up. Our priorities are all misplaced.
For Dr. talking like this,
our priorities are misplaced.
Up. In fact, we have messed up.
Yes, our priorities are misplaced.
Misplaced priorities. Let me just read a few of the messages that have come in. This one says, we don't have leaders, we have thieves. This one is from Al Hassan 11. I said, leadership is an action, but not a position. Ghanaians have to applaud President Nana-Addo and the NPP for passing the RTI bill into law. This one says, seniors, good morning. It is clear that Akufo-Addo and his people want to abandon every bit of the projects the previous government left behind. Okay. This one says, hi, the big man doesn't want anything good for the nation. They are there for their stomachs. The la in who. This one says, passing the RTI bill or not. Passing RTI bill or not, the point is that the politicians must change their attitude to allow the laws of this country to work, because politicians will find ways and means to influence the law. Bismarck from Saboba Northern Region. Now this one is from AU Farouk in Tamale, and he says, good morning to you, KOD, and to your able panelists. If MPP thinks the passage of the RTI bill is fight corruption, then corruption will continue to be like ice water in this government. Champion KOD, this is Big Nicholas from Zabzugu. What is going on in this country today? Look, bag of cement, 42 Ghana cedis, but 2016 bag of cement, I don't know, the message is complete. If you can send it again, I'll read it for you. Good morning, Marshal KOD and your guests. Ghanaian partisan politicians, especially the MPP gurus, need to learn lessons from the result of valued and invalid societal governance in Ghana, and on Ghanaians from the alleged infamous novel of Animal Farm's Banana Republic, and hopefully to alert them to see the need for change. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your message this morning. Now let me read a few of the WhatsApp messages that have come in as well. Pan-African TV, the voice of the voiceless. The people must move away from being subjects to citizens. Leaders cannot waste the people's money by abandoning projects started by previous regimes. Let the people hold the government responsible for neglecting their duties to the citizens, and for once, the government cannot take the people for a ride. Osofo sent this one in from Kumasi. Obama in Kweutafo says the president is right for saying that it is senseless to go for IMF bailout again after exiting the 16 times after. I hope that the 16th one we have exited recently will be the last one, in order to ensure that Ghanaians should make sure to entrust the economy into the hands of good people who can manage it better, like the MPP. The evidence is clear. Every time the MPP or Dankwa Buzi Adombo tradition assumes power, we make sure the economy is on sound footing. MPP nie economy, Papa nie. This one says, hey, my guy. This one is BSO. He's writing the thing in French.
Hey.
Plus 260. Which country is that?
Plus 260.
Yes. Is it Angola or something? Like man, they write Zambia from Zambia, I think.
Oh, Zambia, yeah.
French Native Army can enforce. The thing the man they send. Pour moi, j'ai fait IT diplôme plus CCNA, lequel.
Oh.
Edgar, I speak French.
I can translate you for you for a fee.
I see. Good morning, Pan-African TV. This is the best TV station for ideas. For idea listeners. Interesting listening to your panelists. Kudos. Confidence from Winnie Basent in this one. Confidence. Charlie, that's what we do. We know they follow the people where they do the things we know they will benefit anybody. This one says, good morning to you, KOD, and your able panelists. In fact, Ghana is really suffering from the canker of putting square pegs in round holes. From Tinto in DBI. Which one is DBI? This one says, Mr. Host, I have nothing to say. I'm sorry to say, but a fact to state. It is only in this country that people are giving jobs out of someone's magnanimity. Notwithstanding, I sincerely admire you and your panelists' dispassionate approach to issues. I couldn't believe there were such patriotic and nationalistic citizens in this country. I still have some hope now. This is from Nana Asamoah Buama. But Nana, you didn't tell us where you sent the message from. This one says, Mr. Host, it is regrettable to hear indigenous Ghanaians paying services to other countries, which the willingness was there to offer to Mother Ghana. I'm telling you, brother. Steve-O, thank you very much for your message. This one says, good morning to you, KOD. Good submission by your guest. You tell me this one. No. You can't tell him alone. You are like a concern. Good morning, KOD. Good submissions by your guests with an S, especially Mr. Edgar. He will forever be my role model and my source of inspiration. From Abdul Razak Fabio from Tamale. Now, this one says, good morning to you, Champion KOD, and your elders in your studio. Yes, they are my elders. These are the people who think about our country, especially Mr. Edgar. Captain Boateng of Swan Lake in North Kaneshi sent in this one. Good morning, Mr. Host. In fact, I'm really enjoying your program. Your hosts, your guests have really dissected the issues really well. Keep on educating us. Mohammed Tofik, inside Kintampo. You see why I like some of these topics. It's not political. Nakpi from Techiman. The problem with Ghana is that we Ghanaians are trying to connect lights to my... Hey, wait. Nakpi from Techiman. The problem with Ghana is we the Ghanaians. Okay, we Ghanaians. I'm trying to connect light to my mother's house in a village in Kintampo South. And it's taking me 1 year to do that. Whenever a Ghanaian takes a position, they expect you to pay for their personal charges and government charges. If I go and do illegal connection to problem, God shall punish everyone, not only the armed robber. This one says, it will surprise you, Mr. Host, to know that 3 months after the referendum, the polling officials who supervise the referendum that enabled the creation of the new regions have not been paid their allowances by the EC and government. Things are not working in Ghana. From God is watching in Chirepone. Hey, your name is God is watching. I like that. Alas, I think I've read your message already. Good morning, my dearest brothers in the studio. Please, my brother Edgar, can you please, for the sake of Allah, help the helpless trotro drivers at Kaswa? In fact, the greedy and corrupt police people, they are killing them at a larger scale. Every day, they arrest them for no serious offense and take 50 Ghana cedis from every driver. There is one particular young police officer with a tribal mark on his face doing this more. He honestly arrests them and hand them to one of his colleagues, and the colleague sends them to their station and collect the amount. Please, help them. Almighty Allah too will abundantly bless you forever and ever. Assalamu alaikum. From Malam. This one says, hello. Hey. Hello, I lost my SIM card. I saved your number on my SIM. Now I don't know the person I'm chatting with. Please let me know your name. I'm sorry for that. Anyway, another remarkable achievement has been chalked by the innovative and trailblazer Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The Right to Information Bill had become a monstrous document by previous governments, has now seen the light of day. Our democratic credentials are growing and shining. Regards to Mr. Ernest Kumi of Akwetia constituency. This one is from Kwesi Reynolds in Agona Odobing. Kwesi Reynolds. This one says, Dr. Val, this one is for you. Don't read them out.
Boss me.
No, I didn't want to read it out. That's why I'm reading it to you. Bill,
the legal cases.
I know, right?
Oh, no.
Bill in who sent in this one.
Okay.
This one says, champion, please let me be the anchor with help me with the anchor with Beard's contact. I beg your pardon. Contact. Edgar, today you go give him out too. Edgar.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Edgar, you I beg. Today you give the number.
They have to ask Jamila first.
Oh no, but how do we get Jamila's number? Hey, +237. Which country is that?
I don't know why.
237. It should be West Africa's.
Hey, Charlie. This morning, I think people are really interested in the.
I hope this one's not in French.
Okay, let me. No, this one was a call coming through. I don't know which country. +2. Hey, today my plus there's somewhere. +237. Gambia.
Gambia should be Gambia and Sierra Leone.
Anyway, we are getting a lot of calls from the other African countries, and I'm very excited about it. Nana Intema says, good morning. When cases are of interest to you, to the government, it will go to court in less than 48 hours. Have you forgotten the trotro driver and his mate who fought the policeman? Less than 48. No investigation as we usually hear. Straight to court and prosecuted. This one says, all is leadership failure. Rwanda is on a different. It's not on a different planet. We don't have a leader in Ghana. That's what the person is saying. Okay, now this is very long. How do I read this? Good morning, Captain Keori. I salute our MP at large in the airwaves. Keori, this RTI bill passed is a non-starter and brought in dead. And so I was amazed watching the media this morning. I realized that the NPP MPs and communicators are so exhilarated and jumping to the sky saying that the president is up against corruption because the moribund bill has been passed. Keodi, if Anas will always risk his life to bring out clear audio visuals of this government appointees brazenly engage in broad daylight armed robbery, does the president and the security agencies, what have the president and the agencies done about it? Keodi, with regards to that of abandon of projects undertaken by the Messiah JDM, I hugely blame the media, for not holding this government's feet to the fire of accountability. If ultramodern hospitals are being built across the length and breadth of this country by JDM, and patients are crowding and sleeping on bare floors for treatment, and you people are not talking because most of you people think Nanado is your own, and so you wouldn't bring out his ails. Judgment Day awaits all of you. Greetings to my affable heavyweight chairman Bunas, my finest regional secretary, Honorable Charles. And this one is from Erickson, inside Jirapa Nursing and Midwifery Training College. Musa Abatwa in Kumasi says, champion, seriously speaking, President Kufuor is gradually becoming a talkative. We are tired of the big grammar. The sugar-coated words are too much. Ghanaians are struggling to make ends meet, and the economy is getting out of hand. We need action, not talking, Mr. President. Spectator Dr. Bawumia in Ghana. Anyway, belated birthday to you, heavyweight champion KOD. I like the heavyweight too. Charlie, heavyweight. May God richly bless you. My regards to Ama Pratt. Ghana deserves better. Why are you greeting Ama Pratt on my show? Anyway, new bills, no problem. Enforcement, wahala. And that's all the guy sent. We were paid to destroy us. Hey, Master, who person who cast us a Sami watching as American says the president and his competent leadership has done it again. Walking the talk and putting things into action is the hallmark of President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. The awaited RTI bill has now been passed, and I will commend the president for his boldness to bringing this law into perspective. God bless the president. Ghana is safe and secure, and Ghana will continue to remain peaceful. My regards to Honorable Sinti Mabuaji of STC and Seth Odro Buedu MCA for Asaman Kese. Tell Seth that I'm coming to Asaman Kese to visit him. Nash in Sagnarigu says, Kwame, missing you one day is like missing you in a whole year. RTI implementation is good and hope it will tighten our security, because opposition complained a lot over the security of this nation, and we have a listening government, not a dead goat. This one says, good morning, champion KOD and the able panelists. Where is our future president, Honorable Pelpo? Oh, Charlie, me myself, I don't know. This morning there, be like, he has, one-man demonstration. NPP government is the worst ever government that is making corruption attractive by defending all manner of corrupt politicians, and the number 12 expose, which involves Nanado and Nantechi, is no exception. The prosecution of Nantechi will further expose Nanado. Okay. This one is from Wa. KOD, good morning to you and the panelists. The former GFA boss cannot be tried because of the party he belongs to. If he were to be the opposition, he would be in jail by now. Look at what they are doing to Ofosu Ampofo. This one says the NPP should stop bragging over the RTI bill and also the artificial way of appreciating the city and fix the economy, which was far, far better on the NDC. This one is from Chris Mowat in Obuase Akaporiso news site. The RTI bill won't change anything. The bill, taking a cue from the Constitution, prohibits the sharing of information deemed injurious to public safety and morality. What constitutes public safety and morality is subject in the eye of a public officer and a judge, as the case may be, but not from the perspective of the seeker of the information. This bill is only good for the egos of proponents. Koshi Badohu Ajivo, Denu Junction. Good morning, Champion KOD. The question is, how can Nyantechi be prosecuted when he has a president in his pocket? Francis Akum in Boko. Hey, Mokasao. You dey talk. Kekusi in Ajusubisi, I don't think we are discussing that. Yao Osakide in Taifa says, road accidents on our roads can be minimized when we all do our works diligently. The DVLA should fast-track licensing processes so that the drivers can be tested by the right person, but not the Goro boys. Abbas Omogobo in Offensu says, let's see how the RTI law will work. This MPP government will hide a lot of clauses in it to avoid divulgence of certain information. No wonder they passed the law but deferred its implementation. Let's try the law before celebrating it. All right. Right. Okay. Now the messages are many. You know, a lot of them. Let me just try and read a few of them that have also come in right now. This message was deleted. Okay, all right, it was deleted. Dipku Ishmael in Old Traffic says, share to you all, champion. I thought government is a continuum. Why is Mr. President allowing the taxpayers' money to go away simply because JDM started those projects? Champion, are we serious as a nation? I'm not surprised. There is so much lawlessness in Ghana. The indiscipline from the president to the last man is just too much. I hope and pray the passage of RTI bill will not be a white elephant. Champion, His Excellency JDM started and completed the Wild Water project where the source is the black voter. So at least he did something. Greetings to Bona's Upper West Regional Chairman. Kwame Acidity in Hafuachi says, good morning to you, Mr. Host. Fuel prices have been increased by 6%, and Akufo-Addo's media is loudly silent. MPP government, with only 2 years in office, have demonstrated that they don't know what they are doing. Farmers are sad, drivers are so sad, and things are getting worse by the day. This one says, where is Professor Mate when Winneba University is in turmoil? Blibri has caught Dr. Baumia. Good morning to you, KOD and your panelists. In fact, I'm enjoying your great show and salute Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa's work for Mother Ghana. More Greece. Monica Cons sends this one in from Navrongo. This one says, good morning. I think Ghanaians should stand on their feet. Inusa from Bolga sent in this one. We are in a country that seem to build but kill babies. Hey, Onupa, what are you saying? Did Nkrumah get it wrong by saying the black man is capable of managing his own affairs? Good morning, Jerome from Techiman sent in this one. Uncle Edgar, kindly get me your number. You are a truthful person. That is why I want to have your number. From Baba in Tamale. This one says, KOD, good morning, KOD. I am an assemblyman for Akwetia in the Denchembua district for 521 days today. We are still in darkness. KOD, our situation is serious. Kindly come to our aid. My regards to your panelists, Honorable Osborne Kwansa in Akwetia. Honorable Osborne Kwansa in Akwetia. 521 days.
Over a year and some things. Is that what he's trying to say?
I don't know.
I can't believe
Good morning, champion KOD. Please, the RTI bill will reduce the price. Will the RTI bill reduce the price of petrol and hardship in Ghana, and also put money in our pockets? They should give us a break. Greetings to my hardworking MP for Sagnado constituency, Osman in Tabale. Hey, Ghana for the new. At the end, we wanted it to be passed though. They passed it into the people ball.
No, it has no relevance.
Yes.
This one says, in fact, the more I think of Ghana, the more my heart keeps pumping at a higher rate. The wastage is too much for the poor taxpayers to bear. Completed houses are lying empty. Completed hospitals are still locked up with the equipment rusting. Completed schools are empty and we are still in double track. Ayalolo air conditioning has been grounded to so many appointees doing nothing good in organizing parties from the money we went to borrow. KOD, I have to drop with my regards to my MP at large from Yamoha in Wa. Good morning, Mr. Host. Our leaders are supposed to alleviate the plight of the poor masses, but they are rather worsening it. Stephen from Accra Girls. Oh, okay. The person has sent the message. He says 237 is Cameroon. Oh, okay. So good morning to you, KOD, and your elders in your studio. These are the people who think about our country, especially Mr. Edgar. Okay, all right. So, okay. Okay, so yes. Cameroon. Oh, okay. Oh, fantastic. Yes. Yes, Pan-African TV, no size. Oh. Okay, this one. Oh, DBI is Dafiama Busie Issa district in the Upper West region. I like the name. DBI. It's like saying J. I don't know how to. You have to change your name. Anyway, I think I've done well, haven't I? I think I've done well. Okay. Yes, sir, please. Yeah.
this same, how do you call it, Manasseh, did a story on vehicles that came into the country as far back as 2007.
Yes.
The Gallopers.
Yes.
2007.
Yeah, the Gallopers.
Yes,
Oh, they are so wasted away.
Yeah.
And you know what I heard about that thing? I nearly wept. He said, "Oh, it was overpriced."
Then they
Can
show
you imagine?
$60 issue.
Hey, Ghana power, you get problem.
Over 2007. Over 100 vehicles have been
dear.
imported into this country,
Yeah, anyway,
and we've allowed them to just get rotten.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Then the Ayalolo buses
grounded.
and then some small cars for Maslow,
Grounded.
and nobody is being held accountable.
Yeah.
Nobody is held responsible, and over $30 million has just been wasted.
Can I get matter?
This country.
This one says when this one I have normal text message. I think they sent money in. So let me they spent money on in sending the message. When are they going to pay road contractors? We are dying. This one is a guy who sent it from Weja in Accra. This one says, Mr. Host, you resemble our president too. Your head with a spectacle. Okay, are you also a wicked man? Oh, are you saying our president is a wicked man? Please don't say that. Don't say that. It's not. No. You can't say that about our president. It's not okay. Somebody said, okay. Hi, the phone code +237 is from Cameroon. I'm Fred Soa from La. Okay, Fred, thank you very much. Sometimes it will be easy. Pan African TV, I agree with your panelists. We have leadership crisis in Ghana. It's taking too long to transform this nation because we have all the natural resources to help speed up development. Nothing seems to work in Ghana. NDC, NPP are the same. I never knew we have people in Ghana who can have public discourse without political party colors. Kudos, but you didn't add your name, sir. I'd have loved it. So as to enable, okay, this one this one says, so good morning, Champion KOD, Henry from Salpon. My first time texting. Have you noticed that anything the politician touches in Ghana doesn't end well, even planting of trees? I hear also talking about their confirmed. To pass the RTI bill is not the end of problems. Abubakar Musa and Ponsak Room in Wenchi. But KOD, hey Champion KOD, good morning to you and your panelists. These are the hard truths we want as Ghanaians, but not play politics around critical issues. But KOD, this RTI bill will not work because Ghana always does things on paper rather than practical. Thank you. By A. Aziz. Thank you, A. Aziz. The messages are plenty. So, KOD, I just they ask. Can't we give Mr. Edgar Radio a Minister of Discipline? Oh, your name has changed. Now I think MP at large to Minister of Discipline. Nana Frepon from Asokwa in Kumasi sent in this one. Hey, Edgar, you get fast for Kumasi. When are you going to Kumasi again, you say?
You were there.
You go talk, you go Kumasi. When they go?
Oh, that's the point. Oh, I can even go there this morning and come in the evening. I'm not so Kumasi there. That's my backyard. So.
Why?
Don't make a
Jamila did.
Jamila is at she's in the BA.
Oh, BA. Okay.
Why the
so if you put the
why the big
So they have a central point.
Yeah.
Move from Techiman to Masimita, move from
Agandi. Seriously, look, I mean, it's so sad. I mean, you can't think about it. Like, this thing is like my brother's pet topic. He talks about the Commander Sugar Factory.
Yeah. Yes.
I
mean, how? $35 million wasted. And yeah, I mean, I don't get it. Everything is rusted over there.
Yeah.
You know, you want to understand some of these things. And
can you imagine? Monica Khan said, I've not read her message. Meanwhile, I've read it.
Oh,
Monica Khan.
You know, it's sad. It's sad. So, and I mean, it's like everyone can get up and do as he likes. Waste the taxpayers' money, and then these monies that could have been used to provide water for people.
Yes.
See the way we are just wasting it.
Finally, Champion KOD, I'm Wekuri from Sagani Tamale. Since last month, water has not run through our taps. This one says. This one says. It's from Walanyo in Akwetia. Long-awaited RTI bill, which the NDC was not able to pass into law in the entire 8 years, has finally been passed into law. Thumbs up to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his government. My question here is, it's been passed, so what next? Are our people ready to give out the right information? Yes, okay. The right information, how effective is it going to be? Because we have special prosecutors bill pass, but it's now a toothless bulldog. A toothless dog that can't bark even to bite. We need committed and honest leaders, not bills. Regards to Ernest Yakumi, Walanyo in Akwetia, I think I have read your message, and the messages keep coming. I cannot respectfully, with great respect to everybody who sent in their messages, I apologize, but I am very excited when I see your messages. And
you missed this one,
we
which
missed
was
this
so
one.
important.
The next time we'll do that. But Mr. Edgar, if you can respectfully give your number, I think that's your.
Talk to Jamila first. Jamila will give the lines.
So why are you afraid?
May I give your number out myself?
No, you see, the other day Jamila made a complaint. That our privacy was being distracted.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
On that note, thank you very much, Mr. Edgar, and thank you very, very, very much, Dr. Val, for your time today. Let me say a special, hearty thank you to everybody who watched us this morning. I'm truly eternally grateful to you that you watched us and joined in the conversation as well. I'm grateful. And when I say I'm grateful, I mean it. From the bottom of my heart, I'm grateful to every one of you who watch our morning show and who send in messages. I'm grateful. Thank you. And also to our viewers who watched in Cameroon, in Senegal, in Gambia, in Burkina Faso, in Togo, in Benin. I'm grateful. Thank you. Always watch Pan-African television, because here is where we serve you nothing but the best. We are very patriotic people, and we try as much as possible to be apolitical with the issues. So thank you very much for watching today's edition of Good Morning Africa. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. I will be out of town from next week, so I may not host the morning show. I'm going to leave you in the able hands of Nikwe Kote, who is going to be handling you till I return from my trip. But I'm going to come back tomorrow with the morning show. But on Friday, up to next week, I may not be here, but I do know that you are going to be enjoying the morning show with Nikwe Kote, who is equally very knowledgeable and has the issues at his fingertips. So thank you very, very much for watching today's edition of Good Morning Africa. My name remains Kwame Owusu Danso. Big thank you to my producers, Amma Pratt and Justice Apia, a.k.a. J.A., a.k.a. Mr. Agenda, a.k.a. Mr. Agenda, and also to Ivan Barnes, a.k.a. IB, and to my director, Edem, to the camera guys in the studios, or your names, or I don't know if you can, but forgive me, you have some odious names. It's today's Mr. Mensah's son's birthday. Mr. Mensah, it's your son's birthday today. His birthday is today. What's his name? He is not here. Okay, right. So have a nice day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Adios.